Beautiful little towns here outside of Orvieto, constructed in local stone. I'm sure some of it is tufa rock, volcanic rock. A quiet Sunday morning. Somebody already has the bed cover, hanging out to get fresh air. Such treasures all over Italy. Coming around the corner, Pino looking out at the views. Can hear doves and no other noise here. Two locals saying good morning to each other. One off the balcony and one below. And up we walk through the little town of Sugano. Not far from Orvieto. Women are chatting outside their windows to each other. They've been asking each other what they're going to do today, what each is going to do. Buongiorno, buongiorno. And we'll walk past the small town park of Sugano. You can see the slide off in the distance, the Blessed Virgin in the foreground. She'll take care of all the children playing in the little Sugano park, an olive tree also in the foreground. And we continue our walk through the town. And we're going up towards the little town church, which will be at the top of the town, the Church of Santa Lucia. And we walk past the doorways, which were probably all stalls at one time, or wine cellars, olive oil cellars, beautiful arches surrounding them. And we can see some magnificent old wooden doors, quite a sign of the past history of Sugano, really beauty in itself, this door here. And above the door, we're going to see the local stone. That is probably basalt, which is a volcanic rock, because Sugano, like Orvieto, is not far from Lake Bolsena. And Lake Bolsena was a volcano hundreds of thousands of years ago, spewing its volcanic rock onto the tufa rock plateau on which Orvieto is built nearby. Beautiful hydrangeas everywhere in this tiny town of Sugano. Population about 200. People on this hill as early as 400 BC, the Etruscans. And at the top of the town, there was probably an Etruscan temple. Generally, where there's a church today, there was once a temple. Etruscan temple, maybe then a Roman temple. As of the Middle Ages, there is the church here dedicated to the martyr saint, Santa Lucia. She died under the Diocletian persecution in the early 4th century in Siracusa, now in Sicily. And we enter into the church of Santa Lucia. The structure of the church now is 19th century because the church has damage in an earthquake end of the 1800s. This is the tiny piazza in front of the church. Of course, it's going to be called Piazza della Chiesa. I wonder if that home there might be the rectory of the priest. I don't know. Now we're in the church of Santa Lucia. Finished in the 1900s, actually, after seismic activity badly damaged the church. I believe mid-1800s, if I'm not mistaken. And so this has all been restored. On the left is the statue of Santa Lucia. The church is named after her. Martyr saint. There she's holding a palm, symbol of martyrdom. And she is holding here, as you can see in this closer view, her eyes on a plate. Her eyes were plucked out as part of her torture. And we can see above her head in the halo the inscription, Santa Lucia prega per noi. Saint Lucy, pray for us, especially venerated on her feast day, December 12th. Who did that magnificent sculpture? Perhaps Ippolito Scalza, who also did in Orvieto this magnificent Pietà in marble, late 16th century. You can see his skill. Look at the pain of the Virgin as her hand is uplifted, looking at her son, held in her arms. A truly stupendous sculpture, which is not to miss when you head to Orvieto. Now we leave the Church of Santa Lucia. The altar is a beautiful altar, but it was done in 1928 when they were finishing the restoration of the church. And as we leave the Santa Lucia Church of Sugano, we walk through the beautiful, winding medieval back streets, noticing the loving attention people give to the simple beauty of this little town where about 200 lucky people live, not far from Orvieto. And beautiful cobblestone streets. We notice the doorways, the flower arrangements, curtains over doorways, because you can't have screen doors in a medieval town. It would interrupt the beauty of the architecture. And into the back streets we head, and again walking past doors which were probably once stalls. There's a woman up there embroidering on her balcony, and this gentleman having his cafe in Sugano. Pino and I had our cafe here too on this quiet Sunday. And someday, when you head to Orvieto, meet me in Sugano for a cafe and a walk through the beauty.